Wake me up.
Wake up. Welcome to your City Commission meeting. Please turn off or silence your cell phones during the meeting. Meetings are televised every day on Channel 2 at 6 p.m. and midnight and available for viewing on YouTube. Call to order. First we'll do Pledge of Allegiance and followed by a silent meditation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome. First up is proclamations, and I think we've got quite a few tonight. So I go down there.
Yeah.
Oh, and again, I'm filling in for mayor. It's only my second time, so please be kind and patient with me. All right, the first one is Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day. Where's Colonel?
Right here.
You coming up? You coming up?
I told him he couldn't do it.
Oh, you come on up. All right. I need somebody up here with me. Can't do this by myself.
Controlling.
Right. All right. Proclamation from the City of Leavenworth. Whereas members of the United States Armed Forces began serving an advisory role in the government of the Republic of South Vietnam in 1961, and whereas in 1965, United States Armed Forces ground combat units arrived in Vietnam, and whereas by the end of 1965, there were 80,000 United States troops in Vietnam, and by 1969, a peak of approximately 543,000 troops were reached. And whereas on January 27, 1973, the Treaty of Paris was signed, which required the release of all United States prisoners of war held in North Vietnam and the withdrawal of all United States armed forces from South Vietnam. And whereas more than 58,000 members of the United States Armed Forces lost their lives in Vietnam, and more than 300,000 members of the United Armed Forces were wounded, and whereas the Vietnam War was an extremely divisive issue among the people of the United States and was also a conflict that caused a generation of veterans to wait too long for the United States public acknowledge and honor their efforts and services of such veterans. Now, therefore, I, Holly Pittman, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Leavenworth, Kansas, hereby proclaim March 29th, 2024 to be Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day. My dad's a Vietnam veteran, so if you haven't said it, welcome home, everyone. And some more to say?
Yes, could I have all my Vietnam veterans stand up?
Woo! Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And our state council president for Vietnam veterans for Kansas is here tonight, Roland Mayhew. Thank you. And can I be indulged for a few minutes? I want to read the names of.
Oh, please.
We had from Leavenworth City, we did the flag back in October, and I really appreciate the city council, doing that, and the mayor. So, but if you would, I want to read off the names of the servicemen that were killed in Vietnam that were from the city of Leavenworth. Corporal Eddie Ray DeMere. PFC Joe Lewis Emery. PFC Wesley Lee Gooch. PFC Harry Ivan Fuqua. The namesake of our chapter, Captain Patrick Kendall Harrell. Specialist 4, Ray Raymond Horace Pipe Jr., First Lieutenant Harold Kenneth Ring, Captain Terrence Fairchild Sage, Specialist for Mervyn V. Schlepp Jr., Captain Carol Wayne Spriggins, Specialist for Dennis R. Whisker, Specialist 5 Gary Dean Little. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you for your service.
We appreciate it.
You have anything to say, Colonel?
Please.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, he gets a hug.
Oh, I
Never give a chance to say a few words. As most of my brothers here tonight and sisters, doesn't go by a day probably that we aren't stopped sometime and shake hands, recognize a hat, and say thank you for your service. Lately, I've been telling people just to make a kind of a connection with, you know, our local community and everything else. I said, well, thank you for being worthy of our service. And our community certainly is. Best hometown in America. Two announcements. Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we'll be doing another recognition ceremony along with our honor ceremony out at the Leavenworth National Cemetery. The cemetery director will be in charge of that. But every month, us old veterans gather, ride bikes, show up out at the cemetery last Thursday of the month, and play taps and read the names of those veterans who've been buried here in our hometown that didn't receive honors. Could be homeless, families not around, whatever, but we go out there every month to make sure that they are not unrecognized and get their fitting farewell. Usually play flags. And on Friday, 10 o'clock till about 4 or 5 o'clock, I guess, down at Topeka, on behest of our state commander, we'll be doing another ceremony, reading the 600 names of those Kansans that lost their life in Vietnam. And we'll spend the day down there in recognition of them and reading the names. So anyway, just thank you to everybody. Seems like it's been a number of years we've been doing this. I certainly appreciate it. I'm going to give the members today a little challenge and a little direction. We're getting long in the tooth. I lose West Point classmates once a week. So pretty soon we'll kind of fade away like old soldiers do. Please think about our Iraq War veterans, our Afghanistan veterans, those brothers and sisters. They need to have the same recognition that we have. Ours was a long time in coming, understandable, but we made sure that the young vets didn't get forgotten. So think about some ceremony or some other proclamation for the new era and the young people, and don't forget them, because they didn't forget you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Next one, thought it'd be a little more lively, but it's National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas our children are most valuable resources and will shape the future of our communities, and whereas the majority of child abuse and neglect occurs when people find themselves in stressful situations that are preventable, but without community resources and support, they don't know how to cope. And whereas child abuse and neglect not only directly harm children, but also increase the likelihood of criminal behavior, substance abuse, health problems such as heart disease, obesity, and risky behavior such as smoking. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a community problem that can be reduced by making sure each family has the support of prevention programs created among social service agencies, schools, faith communities, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. And whereas together we can strengthen and support families in raising their children in a safe, nurturing environment. Now, therefore, I, Holly Pittman, Mayor Pro Tem of City of Leavenworth, Kansas, hereby proclaim April 2024 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Yay! This one is also special to me because I serve on the CASA board, and Kelly Meyer here is here to say a few things about National Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Hi, everyone. First, I would like to start by saying that I'm humbled to be in the presence of so many veterans of the Vietnam War, and I would like to first just acknowledge that you are amazing humans, and thank you for your service. I would like to think that the work that I do helps to ensure that the dream that you hope every American has is something that is fulfilled when we try to make sure that children are able to continue to live the American dream. So thank you for everything that you did so that I can do what I do. I appreciate you more than you would ever know. You're amazing humans and could never be thanked enough. So with that said, I would also just like to say that we work very hard at CASA. We are a program that has an organization that has 3 programs that tries very difficult times to ensure that children are protected and safe and that we're looking out for their well-being and their interest. Our mission is to protect their childhood today so they have happy memories tomorrow. And we want to make sure that every single child that comes into our doors and is in some way touched by our programs has that happiness of a childhood that helps them to get to a place where they are able to be strong and healthy adults. Doing that starts with every single community member, and our community is very strong, just as the gentleman before me said. We have an amazing community here in Leavenworth. We rally, and we very much so help to protect our children. So I thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Pittman, and I thank you, Chamber Member, committee members, so that we can continue to do that in Leavenworth County and make sure that we are keeping children and their protection in the forefront. This is a community I'm very proud to be born and raised in and continue to work and serve because we do put children first. So this to me says a lot about the Leavenworth community. We do take this into consideration and make it a priority. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly. And if you look, the courthouse is actually blue, right? Going to be blue
April
for
1st.
April 1st for Child Abuse Prevention Month. The next one, are they over here? Oh, okay. The next proclamation I have is for Barbershop Harmony Month, and the proclamation reads, whereas the Society for Preservation and Encouragement of Barbershop Quartet Singing in America, known as the Barbershop Harmony Society, was founded in April 1938 and is celebrating its 86th anniversary. And whereas the Barbershop Harmony Society promotes singing and harmonious relations in the United States and in many countries throughout the world, and whereas the Cody Corallers of the Leavenworth chapter of the Barbershop Harmony Society are celebrating 54 years of barbershop harmony and community service in the Leavenworth area, and whereas the Cody Corallers work with the community to promote music education in the Leavenworth schools and entertain residents of and visitors to the first city of Kansas. Now, therefore, I, Holly Pittman, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Leavenworth, hereby proclaim April 2024 to be Barbershop Harmony Month.
Short number. Down our way, both night and day, you know everybody and they all know you. And even policemen say, how do you do? Pals by the score and gals galore, and that old gang of mine, they sang Sweet Adeline down our way. Even I wish that I could wander through the fields of clover and the new mown hay, and go strolling along the dusty country road amid the beautiful flowers that bloom in May. And on Saturday night you go a-courting with your girlie neath the bright and silvery moon. And on the way to church on Sunday morning people say, how do you do? I'd love to sit once more and spin a yarn with all the boys down at the Gronis hardware store. I can almost see the horseshoe hanging up above the Kansas country store. And that old gang of mine, they sang Sweet Adeline. How'd you like to come along with me and wander down our way? Down our way.
Are there female barber shops?
They're called Sweet Adelines.
Sweet Adelines, okay,
And they are members of the Barbershop Harmony Society.
as well.
Yes.
Fantastic.
He wants to get a picture.
Oh,
We
wants
want
a
to
picture.
keep this for posterior.
Okay.
For posterior.
I heard that. Yeah, come on. I'm gonna hold up the.
Two on one side, two on the other side.
Thank you. Very good. That was a treat. Thank you so much. Wow. I think we made it a great night. Okay. All right, and our last proclamation this evening is for Fair Housing Month. Whereas the Congress of the United States passed the Civil Rights Act of 1968, of which Title VIII declared that the law of the land would now guarantee the rights of equal housing opportunity. And whereas the City of Leavenworth is committed to the mission and intent of Congress to provide fair and equal housing opportunities for all, and today many realty companies and associations support fair housing laws, and whereas the fair housing groups of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development have, over the years, received thousands of complaints of alleged illegal housing discrimination and found too many that have been proved upon investigation to be violations of the fair housing laws, and whereas equal housing opportunity is a condition of life in the City of Leavenworth that can and should be achieved. Now, therefore, I, Holly Pittman, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Leavenworth, Kansas, hereby proclaim April 2024 as Fair Housing Month, celebrating 56 years of fair housing. Is that you coming to get it? Woo! Congratulations. Yay.
So I just wanted to thank the commission for all of your support, for everything that we do with our housing authority. Pat Tooley and Andrea Cheatham over there and the rest of their staff do a lot of really great work. And then Julie McKeel, who manages our CDBG program, also has a lot of programs that help ensure housing opportunities for all of our residents. So just again, thank you for all of your support, and we will continue to do our best to make sure that all of our residents can stay housed in safe and good housing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay. Let's start with old business, consideration of previous meeting minutes from March 12th regular meeting. I'll just need a motion to approve.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve minutes from March 12th, 2024, regular meeting.
Second.
All right, we'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 And then what do I do? Motion passes?
Yep.
Okay, motion passes 5-0. All right, new business. Do we have any public comment?
We do not.
No public comment, okay. All right, let's move on to mayor's appointment.
All right. Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to move to reappoint to the Leavenworth County Port Authority Greg Cost to a term ending March 25th, 2028.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We can does he carry the vote or do I?
You can call for it.
Okay, I can help. I'll call for the vote. We'll begin with Mayor Martin.
Aye.
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 All right, motion carries. All right, resolutions. Resolution B 2362, authorizing the sale of general obligation bonds.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem and Commission, this is simply the mechanism by which we start the financing for the fire station. The fire station is still under design, and staff's meeting again next week. We hope to have potentially it on the commission meeting in April. But this is just the funding mechanism, so it's a resolution to allow us to start the sale of the general obligation bonds. It's in an amount that the commission has already approved. The resolution is the first step in the funding process.
You guys have any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I move that we adopt Resolution B 2363, authorizing and providing for the public sale of general obligation bonds, Series 2024A of the city of Leavenworth, Kansas.
Second.
Second.
All right, well, we'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes 5-0. Moving down to bids, contracts, and agreements. So we are going to start with rescinding the award of bid from Crane Works for the new cab that we just did last week.
The next couple items will be our Public Works Director, Brian Faust.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. During the March 12th meeting, the Commission did approve a recommendation from city staff to purchase an aerial truck from Crane Works in the amount of $189,909. Staff notified the territorial sales manager of Crane Works on March 14th that the purchase had been approved. Even though he did attend the meeting at the bid opening and talked about when he would be able to deliver the truck, he stated that they already sold the truck to someone else. The city requested a letter from Crane Works stating that they would honor their bid. After we requested that, we received an email stating that they had made an accounting error and they could not sell the truck for under cost. Based on their unwillingness to honor their bid, staff is recommending the award of the bid for the 2023 Ram 5500 from Crane Works be rescinded. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
And for a note, I know that's on the agenda, but the next item would be to award to the second bidder from that. So there is something coming right after this.
Okay.
It's not worth going after them because it'll probably take too long to get another truck.
We did explore the idea that they would have to honor their bid. At this point, with an item of this cost, it's really not worth the effort. And we had a qualified bidder come in second, so in this case, the staff would recommend rescinding the bid and moving on.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, I'll just need a motion.
I move that we approve rescinding the bid from Crane Works.
Second.
Okay. We'll start voting with Mayor Griffin.
Mayor
Aye.
Martin.
Martin, sorry. Told you it's my second time. He said aye.
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 I knew it didn't sound right. All right, motion passes. All right, so the next one is consider the award for the new cab.
Correct. Tonight, we do ask the commission to consider approval of the bid for the purchase of a new cab and chassis with a 40-foot aerial device or bucket truck for the street division. As just mentioned, the commission did approve a recommendation from staff to purchase a truck from Crane Works based on their inability to provide the truck that they bid at the bid price. Staff is recommending approval of the bid from Alltech Industries. The bid opening was held on March 1st, and we did receive 2 bids. The equipment from Alltech is a 2024 F600 with projected delivery date of June of 2024.
Okay.
The 24 CIP included $195,525 for the purchase of the truck. The bid from Alltech is $21,310 over the budgeted amount. The additional funding will be made up from other CIP equipment that has come in under budget. And we give an example, the crack seal was $16,000 under budget, and our paving equipment, which we'll be discussing later, is $54,000 under budget. Staff does recommend the City Commission accept the bid from Alltech Industries for a 2024 F600 cab and chassis with a 40-foot aerial device in the amount of $216,835. Be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have questions?
How are they gonna transport that thing from Creedmoor, North Carolina?
Actually, it's probably coming from St. Joe. They have a big facility up in St. Joe. Their office is on Ariel Drive in North Carolina.
Okay. And I noticed, you know, the city and state of the place, Creedmoor, North Carolina.
Anyone else?
Nope.
All right, we'll call for a motion.
I move that we accept the bid from Alltech Industries for a 2024 F600 cab and chassis with 40-foot aerial device in the amount not to exceed $216,835.
Second.
All right, we'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes 5-0. All right, number 7, consider approval of purchase of UV lamps for WPC.
Again, thank you. The item this evening is to consider purchase of 480 low-pressure, high-volume ultraviolet lamps and associated parts to replace all lamps in channel 1 of our system. The ultraviolet disinfection system was placed in service in 2012. New lamps are warranted for 12,000 hours or 36 months from date of purchase. The current lamps were replaced in 2017 and have just under 12,000 hours. In an effort to save on cost for the lamps, the city has maintained steady flow to the UV system by installing variable speed drives for several upstream pumps. This has resulted in less on and off cycles of the lamps, meaning fewer hours and fewer changes in the lamps. Staff has also worked with the Ray Lindsay Company to reprogram the lighting controllers. These adjustments have actually prolonged the life of the lamps that we have. Let's see, so each channel, we have 3 channels, each channel has 480 lamps. WPC staff is the one that actually removes those and cleans those lamps to save on third-party installation cost. City staff has looked into cooperative purchasing in the past from Mid-America Regional Council, and we have found no such contracts out there. Staff has also looked at using third-party vendors that can provide lamps meeting our requirements. During the December 13th, 2022 meeting, the commission authorized staff to purchase lamps from Epic Water, a third-party vendor, someone we had not used before. These lamps were less expensive, but had a similar warranty and specifications. During that meeting, we stated that we would monitor the performance of the third-party lamps to determine if they were actually more cost-effective and meeting our permit requirements compared to the original manufacturer. During the trial period, we identified 2 fairly significant issues with these third-party lamps. The lamps burning out prematurely, which causes significant staff time to replace those lamps. And the longer the lamps ran, over a 2-month period, the E. coli numbers approached and then began to exceed the permanent limits set forth by the state of Kansas. WPC staff reverted back to another channel using our older Trojan technology lamps to keep the plant under permit levels. Based on our experience with Epic Water, staff feels that the increased burnout rates and associated staff time and the issues involving approaching and exceeding permit limits necessitates moving back to the original lamp manufacturer. The purchase of lamps for Channel 1 was included in the 2023 CIP. The budget was originally set at $140,000. This value was lowered to $90,000 based on the 2022 costs for the EPIC system. New lamps from the original supplier, Trojan Technologies, will cost $168,228. While this is $78,000 over the revised CIP, there are sufficient funds in the sewer reserve to cover this cost. Staff recommends the City Commission approve the purchase of 480 UV lamps manufactured by Trojan Technologies with the associated parts and supplies for a cost not to exceed $168,228. And be happy to answer any questions you may have.
One other quick note, when we went out to bid and we had awarded it to Epic, we also evaluated another lamp manufacturer, so we didn't just go from the Trojan Technologies to Epic, we also looked at another one. A problem we had there was most of them came broken.
Right, they shipped them to us and we opened them.
Yeah,
up.
that's
Lights
part of,
broken.
what's crucial is that they arrived to us in one piece. So we think it was a worthwhile exercise to go through a bidding environment. We evaluated multiple other lamps, we tried them, we nearly exceeded our permit, we tried for over a year, and so that's, the recommendation tonight doesn't come lightly, because we know the cost has increased, but it's important that we have reliable lamps for the disinfection requirements.
And we bought these in 2017, is that correct?
Correct,
No.
yes, for this channel we bought in 2017.
Okay.
And the ones that we purchased
And
from
they're
Epic
expected to
was
last
just
how
last year.
long?
They're at 12,000 hours or 3 years.
3 years, okay. All right.
That's the warranty period. We hope they last longer, and these actually lasted 7 years. So,
Okay, all right.
How, so wait, so you were using Trojan before, for how long? Just forever
Since
before?
2012.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, and they burned out prematurely.
The Epic ones did,
The
yeah.
Epic ones did, and we didn't have any recourse to go back.
And they did send out a technician from, a representative from their company. We tried to work through it because the cost savings was there. We made sure everything was installed properly. We made sure, and we were just seeing these issues with premature burnout and then not effectively killing the E. coli at a rate that
Right.
kept us within permit.
Okay,
Any more questions?
gotta be done.
Yeah.
Well, I'll call for a motion.
I move to approve the purchase of 480 UV lamps manufactured by Trojan Technologies with the associated parts and supplies for a cost not to exceed $168,228.
Second.
All right, I'll begin voting with Mayor Martin.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. Next up is consider the award design services contract for the 4th Street improvements, the least popular.
Thank you again. This item this evening is to consider the award of design services with JEO Consulting Group for the 4th Street improvements in K7 from Reese to Poplar. That is a project that's in the area of Tiredtown and Naples Field. This project is part of the KDOT Connecting Link program for surface preservation. In 2023, April of that year, we submitted an application to KDOT for a mill and overlay project. This application was approved in September. The Clink, it's the old Clink project, but it's a city connecting link improvement, and it's for surface preservation. Is a cost share program with KDOT covering 85% of the eligible cost, while the city share is 15%. The maximum KDOT contribution on this project will be $400,000. Costs that are not eligible are preliminary engineering costs, acquisition of rights-of-way, utility relocation, and curb replacement. At this time, we do not envision right-of-way or utility adjustments because it's a mill and overlay project. The surface preservation is a little bit different from other Bureau of Local Projects managed programs. All surface preservation projects are managed by the city and led by the city. Since the project will be led by the city, the plans will be according to city criteria. This is different than the one that we just had downtown, where we had to do everything through KDOT. The project does consist of a mill and overlay, but we also will be doing localized base repairs. If you've driven in front of Tire Town, you know some of that pavement's in really poor condition. So we do localized base repairs, spot repairs of sidewalk and curb, and upgrading ADA ramps along the project limits. The city does generally use qualification-based selection when we select an engineer. The city did post requests for qualifications. We submitted, sent it to 6 different firms. We also posted it in the newspaper and on the city's website. We received 4 submittals, JEO Consulting Group, Affinis Corporation, Wilson and Company, and BG Consultants. Staff reviewed the 4 submittals. A number of factors were used in the scoring, including qualifications of the project manager, firm's knowledge and experience with KDOT, and their approach to this project. Based on the final ranking, JEO was identified as the top firm. JEO has a number of offices, including Overland Park, Lawrence, and Topeka. And staff did work with JEO to negotiate a detailed scope of services along with a fee for this work. The engineering design is a non-participating cost. As such, the city will be responsible for the entire cost of the design. The design fee is a not-to-exceed amount of $76,500, and funding is available through the city's grant matching capital projects fund. So staff does recommend the city commission authorize the mayor to sign a design services contract with JEO Consulting Group in an amount of $76,500. Be happy to answer any questions.
Sounds pretty self-explanatory to me.
Good write-up.
All right, if no one has any questions, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
I move authorizing the mayor to sign a design services contract with JEO Consulting Group for the improvements of K7 4th Street from Reese to Poplar Streets in the amount of not to exceed $76,500.
Second.
All right, I'll call for a motion. I'll start with Mayor Martin.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes 5-0. And next up is consider award of design services contract for sanitary sewer dye and smoke testing project. This looks kind of neat.
Enjoy.
This looks kind of neat, the
Yeah,
smoke coming up.
it actually
Yeah,
is.
smoke testing.
And the picture in your policy report actually shows kind of what you see when you smoke test. You actually inject smoke into the sanitary sewer system. You typically do that under dry conditions when the cracks are open up. And you can actually see everywhere you got a leak in your system. It's actually very informative. The city of Leavenworth has been concerned with the amount of inflow and infiltration, it's called I&I, that enters the wastewater system. And I&I reduction is an important issue. Inflow is actually where water flows into the sanitary system. Examples are roofs or foundation drains that tie directly to the sanitary sewer. Infiltration is where water slowly seeps into the sanitary system through cracks and joint failures. The 2010 wastewater master plan confirmed that the city should focus on the 3 Mile Creek watershed in the northeast area of the city. Since 2010, the city has completed a number of replacement projects to address I&I removal at a cost of $4.66 million spent on this since 2010. The map up on the big screen actually shows you the areas that the city has concentrated on since 2010, and in the central part of the city and again in the northeast. We've spent a lot of time, a lot of efforts. We wanted to make sure that what we were doing was actually effective. And so in 2023, the commission authorized a contract with GBA to put flow monitors in the sanitary sewer system. And basically back in 2010, they did that. They put basically meters in the sanitary sewer system and checked wet weather flows and dry weather flows. They could determine if it rained, how much additional water came into the system. The city spent $4.6 million in doing repairs, and so in 2023, we put those same meters back in the same locations to see if what we had done was effective. And basically, the conclusion was we had reduced I&I, but we still needed to do more. And one of the issues with this is when we do the complete replacement of a line, it's extremely expensive because these lines are in developed areas. So you're tearing up roads, tearing up driveways, you're doing those types of things. It's a very expensive process. So we put our heads together with GBA, and came up with some recommendations on options that we could do to reduce I&I but be less disruptive and less expensive. The biggest impacts will be to rehabilitate existing manholes and localize repairs to city mains and to eliminate improper private connections such as downspouts. The method to identify these locations where work is needed is by smoke and dye testing the system. The cost will be funded with sanitary sewer manhole and stormline replacement funds in a not to exceed amount of $143,778. There is currently $500,000 per year allocated to facilitate the reconstruction of line and manholes. When the testing is complete, we will have a number of projects identified for the next several years. The city has been using GBA for services for sanitary sewer projects for the past several years, and the city staff recommends approval of a design services contract with George Butler Associates for sanitary sewer smoke and dye testing in an amount not to exceed $143,778. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
How often do we do the smoke and dye testing?
We did it back, I think, in 2012, in that time frame. So it's been about 12 years.
Okay.
Would you explain how that works? You put a smoker down in the sewer system?
Yeah,
and
we
then
open up a manhole, we'll inject non-toxic smoke into the system. We'll notify all the residents ahead of time that this is what's occurring. So you'll actually see smoke coming out the rooftops where the downspouts are.
Okay.
People will actually hook their downspouts straight to the sanitary sewer system. So we smoke test, you'll actually see smoke coming out. So we warn people ahead of time we're there when they do it. So like in the picture that's in your policy report, you'll just through the yard, you'll see smoke. And that's a leak right there.
Is this Leavenworth, right here?
No.
Oh, okay.
We need this for Halloween.
Yeah, I know, right?
In the dye testing, how is that done?
They
at the
actually
same
put I don't know if you've seen the fluorescent green dyes that we use to
Okay.
identify the leaks in the system.
It's fluorescent, yeah.
We'll put that in, clean out those types of things to see, or in downspouts. We'll get permission before we go on private property to do that, just to see if things are illegally connected.
Okay, that's good.
And this should give us multiple years, so next year there'll be no design contract, the whole 500,000 can go to repairs. This report and this design will give us multiple years of projects for the inflow and infiltration.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, I'll take a
Nope.
motion.
Now, Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the design services contract with George Butler and Associates for the sanitary sewer smoke and dye testing in the amount not to exceed $143,778.
Second.
All right, I'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. Thank you. Next up, consider approval of purchase of paving equipment.
It's my last item. The street division is budgeted for paving equipment in 2024 in the amount of $124,900. While the city does not have staffing for large paving projects, it's important for city crews to be able to address local paving repairs in a timely fashion. Becky Beaver, our street foreman, researched options for equipment that will enhance staff's ability to perform needed street repairs. The PaveJet MG7 will meet our needs and is designed to attach to our existing skid loader. High-tech equipment is the sole distributor of the PaveJet MG7 skid steer attachment. I did include a link for a video in your policy report. I decided not to show it tonight because it's like 25 minutes long.
Thank you.
But it is actually, it kind of shows really well what it does. It attaches to the front. The truck will dump the asphalt directly into it. It has an auger like a regular paver, and it can wing out up to, I think, 8 feet. And so we will mill an area out, brush it out, clean it out, tack it, and then put our asphalt down and roll it. So we can actually do some pretty nice repairs with that. So we're looking forward to this. Again, the 24 CIP includes the funding in the amount of $129,800 for the purchase of the equipment. Purchase price for this piece of equipment is $59,400, which includes the equipment, freight charges, and required training. Separately, the city will be purchasing a box broom attachment for 15.5. Total pavement equipment purchases for 2024 will be $74,900. Staff recommends the City Commission approve the purchase of the PaveJet MG7 for $59,400 from High Tech Equipment in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Anyone have questions about the mini paper?
Nope.
No, it's pretty clear.
Gonna ask how they're gonna get here from Wisconsin?
No. Thought about it.
Did you? All right,
How are they gonna get here? Wisconsin.
I'm driving them and picking it up.
Good, good.
Amazon.
Amazon.
Prime delivery. Okay, I'll take a motion for,
I move to approve the purchase of the PaveJet MG7 for $59,400 from High Tech Equipment Incorporated.
Second.
all right, I'll begin voting with Mayor Martin.
Aye.
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 All right, thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay, next
Great job,
up
Brian.
is consider approval of land transfer and development agreement for 201 Kickapoo and 709 North 2nd Street.
And turn this one over to Penny Holler, the Assistant City Manager.
Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Commission, the item before you tonight is to consider approving the agreement to purchase and redevelop city-owned lots at 201 Kickapoo Street and 709 North 2nd. I do have a map, so you can get a better idea of where this area is. If I can orient you, this is part of Bob Doherty Park. You'll see Esplanade over here, and this is really the area of North 2nd and Kickapoo Street.
Are those the lots across the street from the park?
So the larger lot is this one at 201 Kickapoo, and then the smaller lot is at 709 North 2nd Street. So the city purchased several lots in 2014 at a sheriff's sale. 201 Kickapoo previously had houses on it a while ago. I found records that said one was demolished in 1990, the other was demolished in 2011. The lots have been vacant for some time. I don't know if 709 North 2nd ever had anything built on it, but that's the other lot that we're discussing. There has been some interest in the 3 years that I've been here, but there was no one who was willing to take the lots for the purchase of developing it. I did actually reach out in the last couple of months to anyone who had expressed interest, and no one was wanting to step forward at this time. The infill development is ideal for these lots and does meet the city's future land use plan. I have Travis Swift here with Insight Development LLC, who reached out expressing his interest in those available lots. He has been working on and built some duplexes in that area. If you've driven by Kickapoo and 2nd, you may have seen this set of duplexes. There we go. So newly built, and then there was one right across the street as well. Well, let's see. If I can't get it to show, then there we go. So just to kind of give you an idea of the work that Travis and his team have been doing in that area already. The city attorney did create the legal agreements. The terms do require development within a reasonable period of time and has other requirements such as must meet all other city development regulations. The sale price was based on the city's cost to acquire at the sheriff's sale. Travis Swift, as I mentioned, is here and can answer any questions on his plans for those lots and the area. Travis, is there something you'd like to kind of fill us in on your
No, I'm from here.
plans?
That's a great park. That whole, area's been really, was rejuvenated with, the new hotels, the redoing of the school. I think if we could wrap around the park, I think it'll make it really look really nice and tied up onto the river as it goes up, and a lot of new houses and with renovations going up there too, so it's exciting.
Are the current ones rented?
They are. So the one you're looking at right now, we've just completed that. We're actually doing final inspections with the city still. We have to do about, there was a couple of things, we're waiting on some glass to show up. As soon as that's done, we will get it for rent. The other 4 are all rented. They'll be renewing their leases in about 2 months.
And what do they rent for?
1850 for the first ones. These are 1550. They're a little smaller. There's like a unit on the top, and then one on the middle floor. They each get their own garage and a storage unit in the
Yeah.
basement.
That's nice to have a garage.
And they're 1550 for those.
Yeah, this is the area we wanted to develop, the Community Development Corporation that I worked with several years ago, and then that was put on hold. So I'm glad to see it's being developed now.
Sure, I had this lot that the city made me tear a building down on that I took over years ago. I mean, I took it over and they said, tear it down. I wasn't like running it that way. And then the lot across the street, and then eventually timing came to where we had the money and the plan, so we're starting to try to develop that.
Yeah, they look nice.
Yeah, I think any new rooftops in Leavenworth is great. So,
Awesome. Well,
any questions?
It's basically the back of the building, isn't it?
that's, the front, that's the
I've driven by
side.
it.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
front
it
would
doesn't
be
look very
actually on with the
attractive.
Kickapoo. So there's a
Yeah.
front door there and a stairwell that connects to a common area
Right.
stairwell.
Okay, yeah.
Well, if no more questions, then I will take a motion.
I move to approve the agreement to purchase and redevelop city-owned lots at 201 Kickapoo Street and 709 North Second Street. Oh, approve the land transfer and development agreement for 201 Kickapoo Street and 709 North Second Street.
Second.
All right. I'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right, moving on to first consideration of ordinances. First consideration ordinance rezoning 46 Lemon Street from R19 to R16.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. As you said, this is a request to rezone 46 Lemon Street from R19, which is medium-density single-family residential, to R16, which is high-density single-family residential. This property is just over half an acre, and there's one single-family house on it right now. The owner is looking to rezone it so that they can divide it into 3 slightly smaller lots than what would be allowed in the R19 zoning district. So as you can see on the maps that are in your packet, the bulk of the neighborhood just to the west of this lot is already zoned R16, and the size of the lots that are being proposed with this rezoning and the associated plat are in line with most of the neighborhood. There's a pretty wide variety of lot sizes in the neighborhood, so what they're proposing will be in line with what is out there. So the Planning Commission looked at this on March 4th and voted 4-0 to recommend approval of the request. They also took a look at the accompanying plat that goes along with this, dividing the property into 3 lots, which is also in your packet. And they did approve that contingent upon final approval of this rezoning. So if you have any questions, I can answer those. Staff would recommend approval of this rezoning request based upon the findings and facts that are in the policy report.
Any other questions for Julie?
No.
No. All right. Well, then I'll take a motion. No,
No,
consensus,
consensus.
consensus, it's different.
Yes.
Consensus, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mayor Martin, or, yes, Martin, is he there? You consent?
I'm here.
Okay. Do you consent to the rezoning?
No question.
Okay,
Do you agree with the
Do you agree with it?
consensus?
Consensus.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
awesome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Julie. All right, moving on to consent agenda.
Oh.
And that's you, Ed.
I move that we approve the claims from March 8th, 2024 through March 21st, 2024 in the amount of $1,670,863.66. Net amount for payroll number 5 effective March 8th, 2024 in the amount of $406,149.87. No police or fire pension.
Second.
All right, we'll begin voting with Commissioner Bowder.
Aye.
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 Okay, so now do I go into,
Yep, you have to read
do
the,
I have to
You can go
close?
around, you can go around the table.
yeah, no,
Okay.
you don't have to close anything.
Oh, I don't have to
Yep.
close, okay. So we'll begin, we'll go around the table and just wrap up. Do you have anything?
Nothing tonight.
Okay.
Happy Easter, everybody. Have a happy and holy Easter.
Mayor Martin, do you have anything?
Not really. No, echo Commissioner Hingela. Wish everybody have a nice, happy Easter this week. Thanks.
Commissioner Batter?
I don't have anything to add. Happy Easter.
Yep. Happy Resurrection Sunday, happy Easter, enjoy this family time, and God bless.
Absolutely. Happy Easter. That was very moving tonight with the flowers and the proclamation. So thank you, Mayor Martin, for letting me be part of that. I appreciate that. And so now we would go into executive committee for, do I need to read off exactly?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So do I need to read this motion, the whole thing?
You can read it or anybody can. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll read the motion that we move the city commission recess into executive session for a period of 20 minutes for the purpose of discussion of a personal matter under the justification to discuss personal matters of a non-elected personnel, which is KSA 75-4319B1. The city commission, city manager, and human resources director will be present. The open meeting will resume in the city chambers commission at
7:17.
7:17 p.m.
Second.
All right, second. And I'll begin a vote for that. I'll begin voting with Mayor Martin.
Aye.
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 Okay, do I need to gavel or
Nope.
anything? I
We're in executive session.
Okay, got it.
Oh, close executive session.
Close executive
Yes.
session, okay.
We do have to vote on that.
Do we have to vote, all right, I'll start with Commissioner Bowden.
Aye.
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 And then we don't have mayor anymore, right?
Right.
He's gone, okay. So at this point, then I just need to adjourn the regular meeting from today, right?
Yep.
So
Okay,
moved.
so moved. All right, so meeting adjourned.
All in favor? Aye.
Oh.
Oh, aye, yeah, thank you.
Aye, aye.
Bye, everybody, have a great week.
Good job.